Hello, thanks for joining me today. I'm Jan Clothier of Thinking Stamping and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in New Zealand. And today I'm back again to show you another quick, easy card that looks like maybe you've spent a bit more time on it than you really have. So it's the ideal kind of card that you could crank out 5, 10 of them and send them off. You could make them all in an afternoon and people would think you'd spent a bit more time on them than that. So I know I haven't been around much lately. I've had quite a lot of this year off of video making, but I am back for a bit of a Christmas season. So I've already had one easy multiple batch Christmas card. There's one coming and there's a few more little surprises along the way too. So please feel free to join me. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Right, so today's card, very quick, very easy, looks fun, great card for kids or those who are a bit young at heart. And it uses the Reindeer Fun stamp set and bundle. It comes as a bundle. It has dies. It's got a lot of dies actually, and they do a whole lot of interesting things, but we are going to play with the dies that make this pretty little reindeer. So I'm going to start off as if you were in one of my classes, one of my in-person classes, and I would show you the kit that you would have and tell you what all the bits are for. So this is the what do you need to make this card apart from the Reindeer Fun bundle. Well, you've got an envelope which you can decorate or not as you like. I have got a real red card base, and because of the fact that I have used this perennial postage die, I have had to cut it slightly odd for an imperial market. So I think if you were, a metric market, I'm sure that if you are an imperial person, those dies are perfect for your standard card front. But if you are a metric person like I am, you do have to cut it slightly differently. So my real red card base is still 10.5 centimetres wide, and I've done it as a tent fold. But if you like, you can still do it as a side fold. So 10.5, but I have cut it to 27.6 and scored it at 13.8. So that is simply to accommodate the postage stamp die and have it sort of with an even amount all around it. So there's my card base. I've got a mat of early espresso, and that is 13.3 by 10. And then I have got 2 pieces of basic white, which are also that size, which was, just from memory, 10 centimetres by 13.3. Now, one of them is for the inside, so we can pop that aside for now. The other one, we are going to use the largest of the postage, perennial postage dies, so the very largest one. Run it through the die cutting machine, and this piece of paper turns into that. And so that is going to make our card front. And then in order to make this cutie pie little deer, you just need some scraps. So the dies that you need from the Reindeer Fun. Okay, so you need that one, that one, that one, and that one to give them a little bow tie. So that one we cut out of a piece of early espresso. This one we're going to cut out of white, and that one I've cut them out of pecan pie. But you could experiment with different colours and have them all looking a little bit different. And then I have just taken a little scrap of real red and used that little bow tie, and that makes our cutie pie little deer. Now, they layer together like this. So that's the back. The one with the ears and the full chest is the middle, and then the one with the outline ears and the outline nose and part of the chest missing is the top layer. Now you can see if I just do them like that, I'm going to get a little reindeer that's got a little brown nose, a little early espresso nose. But if you want to turn them into a Rudolph, like I have, very simple little trick. You just cut yourself a weeny piece of real red. Doesn't even need to be very big. Yeah, we'll just move the dies off to the side so they don't get lost. And we're going to get the middle one. And we're just going to, is he big enough to go in there? You want a piece that's big enough to cover his nose, but not so big that you can still see it through his eyes. So we're just going to put a tiniest, if I can manage it, a tiny little daub of glue. And then we're going to get a little scrap of real red and just pop them in there. And now we're going to have a little Rudolph, which I quite like the idea of. So again, you don't need a lot of glue. You need enough to, you don't want so much glue that when you squeeze the layers together, you're going to get ooze. Because then you have to deal with the ooze, and that's tricky. So we're going to line them up, and we're going to put on the white. Okay, now we'll just turn them over and just make sure we haven't got any weird bits hanging over the edge. So he looks nice and square. And then we're going to get our pecan pie layer. And you can see how if you just, you're sitting in front of the TV one night watching something on Netflix or glued to the election results, whatever, you could crank out quite a few of these little die pieces and pop them together, and then you could, pop, you can just make, you make multiples of this card with very little effort. Okay, so we can pop him on there. And I'm going to put the boat, and again, we'll just have a little check. Weird bits hanging over. Okay, so he looks pretty good. I can tell you that the most stressful thing about making this card is the bit we're about to do. So you can see I'm lining that up sort of square on my bit of paper, on my grid paper, and I'm going to put my deer, because I imagine he'll be about there. The trickiest bit is stamping, because you have to get it right. So I'm just using the Merry Christmas out of here, although you easily could use May All Your Days Be Full of Cheer if you'd rather, or even Christmas is Better Together, but I'm just sticking with simple old Merry Christmas. And because my accent colour is looking like it's Early Espresso, because I've got an Early Espresso matte and I've got Early Espresso antlers, I'm going to stick with that for my sentiment. So I'm just going to tap in there. Does it look nicely covered? Yep. And now just a moment while I'm trying not to get my head in shot, so I'm also trying to be central and square, and so now we're just going to firmly press, and I'm going to count to 10 in my head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes. Okay, there we go. So now we are cooking with gas. Almost done. The hard bits are done, and now it's just straight up assembly. So I'm going to put a bit of glue, because I am a glue girl, because I like the wiggle room, but if you prefer tape or Stampin' Seal, then obviously that's what you should use. Now don't forget that if you see anything that I use today and you'd like to add that to your craft stash, and you live in New Zealand, you are more than welcome to shop with me, and there are details of how to get to my online store in the video description below and in the end card that's going to pop up at the end of this video. And the same applies if you'd like to ask any questions. If you have questions about what I've done and you'd like to ask, I can be you'll find contact details in the video description below as well. Right, so a bit of glue on that one, and then we'll line them up, pop them in. Yep. And finally, we're just going to add in our little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I might use my tweezers for that. Okay. And pop them in. And you can see that really looks fine there. He's going to look a whole lot better when he gets his little bow tie. Now, you don't have to glue the bow tie down within an inch of its life. Just a nice little bit of glue in the middle will be plenty. You just pop them in there. Give it a little press so the glue takes hold. Now, the very final thing is I've given him just a little basic rhinestone, and that works nicely. But the other thing you could use are one of these real red and white adhesive backed peppermints, which, because we've got a real red card base, will work nicely here too. So we'll just do one of the little ones and just see how it looks. See, I like that too. I think he's a very cutie pie. So, and that is just how quick and easy that card is to make. What you do on the inside is entirely up to you, but I'll show you what I did, because we've still got our piece of white here. One thing you could do if you wanted to is you could use the postage stamp die to die cut the inside. I haven't here, I've just left it straight, and I used that little tree there, and I just stamped that in Early Espresso, and I used that little set of stars in Pool Party to give it a bit of background. And if you wanted to, I haven't done it, but I have in some others I've made of this. You could put in the May all your days be full of cheer, or Christmas is better together. You know, you could add a sentiment to the inside as well if you wanted. Anyway, that is number 2 of my easy cards that you could batch make if you wanted to, series coming up into Christmas. If you have any questions and you'd like to ask them, or you have any comments to make, you're more than welcome to get in touch. My contact details are in the video description below. As I've said, if you live in New Zealand and I've used any products that you'd like to add to your craft stash, please feel free to shop with me, and there's a link to my online store in the video description below as well. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do so you don't miss anything new that I do. But above all else, everyone, happy stamping.